Joining me right now is a senator who was with the president at the White House yesterday and today. Lindsey Graham is chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And, Senator, it is good to see you. Your reaction to Al-Baghdadi dead?
It's a good day for the world and a real blow to the ISIS organization. He was the spiritual leader. He was their heart and soul. He is dead. The caliphate has been destroyed because President Trump changed the rules. This was a hard call by the president. He deserves a lot of credit, but the glory goes to the men and women who planned this operation, executed it. Last night, the best of America met the worst of mankind in Baghdadi, and the good guys won. Pray for the dog. I just cannot tell you how much of a reminder this should be to the people who align with us, that America will not forget acts of terrorism, and those who oppose us, we will never forget you, and we'll always come after you. And to the families who have suffered under ISIS, I hope you get some comfort knowing that this bastard is dead.
And you're right. The president mentioned those families earlier in his press conference as a way to make it look like this campaign was in honor of them. You just mentioned the dog. Let's explain that for a second, because we had a canine who ran after al-Baghdadi in that tunnel, and the dog was injured by the suicide vest.
Yeah, this guy died a coward's death, as the president said. Took 3 kids with him, and the dog got injured. I hope the dog makes it. But this is a team effort. I mean, this is the best of America, including the dog, going after the worst of mankind. And, you know, the guy goes into a tunnel and blows himself up with 3 kids. What a coward. Died a coward's death. This president has been determined to get this guy, Baghdadi, since the first day in office. I want to congratulate President Trump. He deserves a lot of credit for making a hard call. To those who planned and executed this operation, God bless you and your families. And this is a reminder that America is never going to forget what happens to our people. And we're going to be patient, and we're always coming after the bad guys. And this is a game changer, because ISIS is different today than it was yesterday. The spiritual leader, the heart and soul of ISIS, is now dead, dying a coward's death.
And we show the pictures of the families, James Foley, Steven Sotloff, Peter Kasich, and Kayla Mueller, who lost their lives at the hands of ISIS. Do you know if they were planning another attack? Do we know if there was a treasure trove of documents that our Special Operations Forces was able to take with them?
Well, one of the benefits of this raid is what we found on the ground and how much more information we have. You know, the caliphate has been destroyed because President Trump changed the rules. He allowed our military to get the job done. Obama had one hand tied behind his back. President Trump unleashed the military that destroyed the caliphate, but there's still 15,000 fighters roaming around. But today's a big blow for them. Their spiritual leader is dead today, and the information we exploited, I think, is going to make us safer here. And when the president says others should do more, that's absolutely important. Others should do more. Our footprint should be smaller, but there is no substitute for the American military. And what did we learn last night? The American military and intelligence community never forgets. They're the best in the business. And if you cross America, one day you will meet these men and women.
You broke the news on this program a couple of weeks ago when you were turning more positive on the president's plan to take troops out of Syria, because you had a feeling that the president was focused on the oil fields and was not going to allow Iran or ISIS to get that revenue from the Syrian oil fields.
Yeah, I feel very good about where we're headed in Syria. The president is going to make sure that the oil never falls into the hands of the bad guys. There were $45 million a month being pumped currently. I think with some American help, we can double or triple the oil revenues, share it with the Syrian Democratic Forces who fought so bravely, the Kurds, to destroy ISIS. It will be good for them and their families and their communities. It can help pay for our footprint. And the main thing is it will never be used by ISIS again to regenerate, and the Iranians won't get this oil. So this is really a brilliant move by the president to lock the oil down to make sure the enduring defeat of ISIS continues. Without the oil revenue, they'll have a hard time ever coming back.
Senator, before you go, let me ask you about John Durham's investigation, which has now turned criminal. This is a criminal investigation. Before this news broke this morning, we were going to follow this story even more closely than we have, and we want to follow the money, because what I'm told by my sources is Stefan Halper was one of the key individuals in terms of an FBI informant running into Trump campaign staffers. And we noticed that he was paid a lot of money, you know, know, he did a report on China and Russia, and yet he's got all of these, he ran into all of these campaign staffers. But here's what we found. In September of 2016, he was paid $411,000 for a report he was writing on China and Russia. And before that, just a couple months before that, almost a year before that, rather, he was paid $245,000 for also a report on China. Usually when you write reports, you're talking about a couple of $1,000s that you get. He was obviously being paid a lot of money. And I'm speculating here, but it sounds to me like he was running into campaign staffers and trying to entrap them, and that's what he was being paid for. We know this money was coming out of the Office of Net Assessments. What can you tell us?
Well, Horowitz hopefully will shed some light on this, but one, I'd like to see the report. What did we get for $600,000? Was that a sham reason, or was the real reason he was being paid is to try to infiltrate the Trump campaign? I don't know. Horowitz will tell us. But the last 48 hours have been pretty big for President Trump. Horowitz is coming out with his report, which I think will be damning. Durham is looking at criminality when it comes to DOJ and the FBI. And 50 Republicans have told the Nancy Pelosi House Democrats that what you're doing to the president is unfair, is lack of due process. And what this really impeachment has turned into is a sham driven by sore losers. This is a sore loser effort here more than it is anything else. They just don't like the fact that Trump beat them, and from day one they want to get rid of him. So what impeachment now is about being a sore loser.
Yeah, and Senator, we should point out that we called Debbie Dingell to come on the show. We haven't heard from the leadership of the Democratic Party yet on the incredible victory of taking down the leader of ISIS by our Special Operations Forces. Senator, it is good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.